and welcome to our Learn It Short series, where we cover a topic in a short video of just a few minutes. My name is Chuck McCullough, and this lesson is on namespaces. Now, in our previous code examples in the previous videos, we declared a namespace around our code. What's the purpose of that namespace? Well, have you ever been in a group of people where there are several people with the same name? We usually come up with a nickname or append their last initial or something like that, like Ashley G and Ashley S. Feel like the episode of The Bachelor or something. The same thing can happen with our code. There are thousands of names in the standard library, and we'll be creating a lot of names as well. There are only so many names, so the potential for a collision is pretty high. The C# namespace keyword is simply a way to segregate our classes by creating a prefix to our class names. We do a similar thing on our computers as regular users when we create folders. A folder cannot have two files with the same name in it, but we can put those same named files in different folders. We can also nest namespaces to create a hierarchy, much like folders. In this example, the full name of the class SomeClass is SomeProject.SomeClass. SomeOtherClass is really SomeProject.NestedProject.SomeOtherClass. Namespaces are purely logical. There is no physical component like there is with a folder. In other words, if you have the same namespace declaration in two different source files, that's not a duplicate namespace, but rather the same namespace, and part of the content is defined here and part of the content is defined there. It's just a prefix to the class name. When we wish to use a class that is defined in a different namespace, we must either use the fully qualified class name, including all of the namespaces. However, we can also specify the using keyword, which namespaces we want to have implicitly visible in our code. So using some namespace allows us to reference all the classes that are defined within that namespace by their simple names, their short names. Using doesn't change the size of your program or the speed or have any other impact on our application. It simply tells the compiler how to resolve symbols that we reference within our code. The using keyword only applies to the namespace that you specify, not nested namespaces. So when we have using system, that is specifically just the classes defined in system, not any other ones. Nested namespaces must be specified in their own using statement. Now, the only risk of having a lot of usings with a lot of namespaces is that you have a bigger potential for ambiguity. If you're referencing a class called list that's defined elsewhere and you have a bunch of namespaces declared using namespaces declared in your code, there's a bigger potential that there's going to be more than one class with that same name, and you'll have to use its fully qualified name in order to get rid of the ambiguity. The .NET library organizes classes into dozens, if not hundreds, of namespaces. The root namespace is system. It contains the definitions of our primitive types and the other most commonly used types like string and float, single, and so forth. Nested namespaces further divide the classes and organize the classes by purpose. Some of the most commonly used namespaces are system.collection, system.net, system.text, and a whole bunch of others. Libraries provided by other vendors will typically start with their company name. For instance, Microsoft, things that are not part of the standard that come from Microsoft start with Microsoft dot something, and we find that pretty common. Now, don't overcomplicate namespaces. It's just some text that makes our symbols more unique to avoid collisions. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new content. For more in-depth course with hands-on labs, visit our website at mcculloughassociates.com. You'll also find me on Udemy. Just look in the description below for those links. Up next, classes.